Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 68 of Two Left Thumbs, your source of weekly gaming news and updates. In this week's episode, we'll be talking about the delay of Cyberpunk 2077, the delay of Final Fantasy VII Remake, the delay of the Avengers. Horizon Zero Dawn is almost definitely coming to the PC, and we are also going back to Skyrim. We'll also have all your weekly deals across all your gaming platforms. I am Grey Aussie Gamer, and joined with me today, as always, the one and only Deaf Puppies. How are you, dude?
I'm okay. I'm doing all right. Think I'm surviving. I've managed to get through the week, so I'm doing good. How have you been, man? What's been going on?
Good. Like we were just discussing before, I have changed my setup, even though there's not a live stream this time. But moving everything around, it's always fun, and replugging everything back together again, making sure it all works and with no issues is.
Yes, I get to.
You know exactly how it is. You're in the middle of doing it.
Yeah, I get to experience that all in a few weeks. I got to pull everything apart today because the move and stuff, which is gonna be great. So good.
So, not much gaming in this week.
No, I played like 1 or 2 nights of God of War. I think that's about as far as I got. I haven't had any chance to do anything else. I've kind of dicked around doing some Spider-Man stuff, kind of playing with my kids and mucking around with them. But I think I'm just over or just under halfway, maybe a little less.
Where are you up to?
I've just after I reanimated the head.
Okay, so I'd say you're near halfway.
Yeah, about halfway. That's what I figured I was about near the halfway, especially after that rather large boss fight not far off that, which was pretty fucking cool, by the way.
Which boss fight was that? Spoilers. 5 seconds.
Spoilers. 5 seconds. Just the dragon. The big dragon fight. That's fucking like that arena style. Fucking. It was a lot of fun.
And how good is it that they keep that one shot, like with Kratos and that, constantly in frame at all time. Like the cinematics of that game is just incredible.
I know they're
how they
awesome,
pulled it off.
Like even just like walking out to some of the skyboxes and the vistas, you're like holy shit. Like, holy shit, like you come through a portal or you bust open a door, it's like, fuck, this is cool. Like that giant lake where you've got to
you gotta drain the water.
You gotta dry where you've got where we've got to like make the rune out of the things that are sticking out of the water. Yeah, I just walked out of them, holy fucking shit, this is amazing. But yeah, man, really enjoying it. I've had a few sticking points with combat. I'm currently stuck in a place where it left me with enemies that are like 4 levels above me, and it's just as they spawn, it spawned me in this weird spot where I've got like minimal health and I've got to take on these high level enemies. I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ. And I can't back out of it to get away from it to go and like level up or anything. I'm just stuck until I beat these dudes. So it's headbutting a brick wall at the moment, but I'll get through it.
Drop the difficulty down.
No.
What are you playing it on? Just out of curiosity.
Just whatever the normal one is. I usually just go for the default.
Just normal, yeah.
Yeah, just normal.
Yeah.
But you know, it's been good.
Next Gen and we did a race, the first to beat God of War. We live streamed the whole thing.
I remember that.
Corey Barlog, the creative director, retweeted our thing out, and it went mad. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, nice.
But we both did the game. The rules were we had to do the game on hard. You weren't allowed to do it on easy. And because we're both live streaming, we could easily check that
to see what you're doing.
Yeah. So there's no cheating. But yeah, it's a brutal game. It can be quite difficult, especially further on as you get. And if you do some of the optional bosses, like the Valkyries, man, what a wicked fight! Well, fights.
Yeah.
Fight the Queen Valkyrie. It's so good.
I'm keen. I've heard stories of the Valkyries. I'm keen to at least give a few a shot and see how they go.
Oh, you've got to try them out, man. They're so good to fight.
Is each Valkyrie a different fight, or is it much the same?
Completely different.
Different.
No, all different, man. They've all got different move sets, different special things they all use. Kind of the same arena, like in different sections across the map that you'll fight them in. But yeah, really awesome fights. And so I got the platinum in it, so you had to beat all of them. You had to beat all the Valkyries. Sorry, I didn't get the platinum in it. I beat it on hard, but you had to get all the Valkyries done. But then they released a new mode after that. It was just Give Me God of War mode. I think it was that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went back into it a bit after that to try that, and holy shit, what a different game! Like,
yeah, because I think I was talking to someone that was streaming it, and they went back in to do another playthrough, and it was the hardest way you could play because it was Give Me God of War with New Game Plus.
Yep.
And it's like you get 2 hit by everything. Like if you screw up, you were done.
There's really cool. They introduced different mechanics into it as well. I can't quite remember the exact mechanics they do, but they do swap enemies around. You get different scenarios that you'll face things in.
Okay, that's good. At least it kind of freshens it up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're also I think one of the mechanics is you get quite punished if you stuff up. So like enemies can recharge health really fast or something like that. It's quite tough, but I'm so glad you're playing that game.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, man. It's been a lot of fun. Getting a hang of the upgrade system. I kind of blased through the tutorial as I usually do, and then I looked at them. Oh shit! I haven't upgraded in ages. I should probably get on top of that. Make things a little easier for myself.
It does make it a lot easier, especially some of the upgrade in armor and that, man. So good. Before we go on from that, did the World Serpent, when you first came into that open area, did you have headphones on?
Yeah, I had headphones on.
How cool is that sound, man, that they make?
Yeah, it's that real kind of deep throat singing kind of vibe to it, but it's like fucking cranked up to 11. It was so good.
Yeah, I loved it. That was awesome, that.
Yeah.
Other than that, not much, man. I've been all in on Escape from Tarkov. This thing is just pulling me in even more each and every day. I'm enjoying it more and more. It's gonna be hard to review, actually, because that means I've actually got to sit down at this PC and do work, like do a review, not actually play it. Yeah. I don't know. It just gets better and better the more you play it. It's got a Dark Souls kind of vibe to it, like as in the punishing difficulty to it. It's your own fault if you stuff up, like, and you get done kind of like you either rush too fast or you didn't rush fast enough, or you peaked when you shouldn't have. You didn't play strategically, or you brought the wrong loadout. Whatever, as I do constantly, forgetting ammo, putting the wrong ammo type in, just fucking don't bring food. I always fucking forget food now all the time. When you're hungry. My dude makes the worst sounds, man, when he gets hungry.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Yeah.
Fucking starve him. Bastard.
It's opening up even more now because of, obviously I'm getting a lot more map awareness, knowing the inventory, knowing how to loot faster, knowing spawn rates, like what's happening across like only 2 maps really. The rest I haven't really touched that much just because they're so in depth, man. There's such complexity to the map to work out and understand. Yeah, I'm just the more and more, man, I'm playing it. There's the more and more.
I mean, that means there's a lot to dive into there, which is good. You want that, especially for that style of game. You want to be able to go back in and still like there's a high skill ceiling. So you've got lots of time to kind of practice, rehearse, and really get everything down properly, like the mechanics and obviously the inventory and making sure you have the right things and loadouts for each situation. Because you can only load up once before you start, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, but the developers they're doing a pretty good job from what I've read, only being new to the game. They're doing a lot of interesting things, especially in this wipe mechanic. I think it's kind of random when they choose to do it. It's whenever they try and update the game a little bit. I really enjoy it. Like, even though I haven't had it happen to me yet, I've gone through the process of it. I like the idea of everyone getting reset.
Yeah.
And I was watching a YouTube video today on it, and the guy has been playing since alpha. Like the day it came out, he's had this thing, and he's put thousands of hours into it, and he's like, he loves the wipe, because what that does is it pulls him back to restart, and things that he would normally skip in a map or skip in an area or not even bother with, he's like really back invested in to go, like searching lockers or searching weapon cases and stuff like that. Things that he might not do late game because he's got everything.
Yeah.
Now he's right back into it. So he's going back into parts of the map where he never used to, et cetera, et cetera. So I enjoy it. I think it's a really good idea.
That's good. I like it.
The more I think about it, the more like I can see this game mode, this style of game, getting much bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon definitely this mechanic of going in to get your loot and to get out, you can tone it down. You could tone the realism out of it a little bit as well. Like, I don't know, what's a game you could use, like
Fortnite. Could you imagine?
No.
Fortnite just does their own version of Tarkov. That'd be hilarious.
Imagine if it was something like Destiny wouldn't work, but imagine if they implemented a mode like this in Destiny.
That'd be interesting.
Put high tier loot in there in a big map, and you load in, and
if you die, you lose what you've got.
Yeah, you lose the whole lot. It'd be an interesting concept.
It would be.
I'd be all in playing it. So yeah, I think this is I think it's a thing that could get a lot more traction now that this game's starting to get more traction itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me. That's where I'm going to be. Hopefully, I'm going to try and start my review this week.
Nice. Look forward to it, man.
Next week, maybe the week after.
Or the week after that. We'll see.
I'll just keep playing and won't review it. I'll just put a 250 character Twitter post out about it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the hottest of takes. Let's get into this week. Right, so over on the PlayStation Network, our freebies for this week are Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection, as usual, and Goat Simulator. So I think they've got another 3 weeks up, 2-3 weeks before they're off. PSN deals, 2 that we picked out are The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt, Game of the Year edition, so this obviously includes all your DLC, everything like that, $17.95, and Days Gone for $54.95. Two, to me, awesome games. The Witcher 3 is obviously a no-brainer for that price. I mean, it's also free on Game Pass at the moment as well.
Yeah, I think it's about that price on Xbox as well, if anyone's looking for it on that particular console. I didn't put it there because we already had it on PlayStation, but I think it's like $17 or $18 as well. So on both consoles, if you're interested in it or interested in purchasing the whole lot, where you should be going.
With how popular The Witcher is at the moment, especially with the TV series running pretty hot. So jump in and have it. I've seen a lot of people do that. They watch the show and have been drawn back into the game.
Yeah, well, I watched the show and started listening to the audiobooks.
Oh, there you go.
Because my wife had an extra month. I was like, oh, cool. So I grabbed the short stories collections, and I've been enjoying that. I got 10 hours of stories there, which is great.
Nice. Very nice. Right, over on Xbox this week, we have our Weird Games with Gold. We've got Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. Holy Jesus, throw it back. And then we've also got Batman, the Telltale series. Did you ever play the original, the Lego Star Wars 2?
No, I haven't gotten to the Star Wars ones. I've played most of the other Lego games. The Star Wars is one I haven't grabbed yet. I think I may even have a copy of it somewhere, but I haven't got into it. But the Lego games are really good. The controls are a bit wacky, but...
Oh yeah, they're spaced out as. I think I went through this originally on my Vita.
Oh, wow.
Maybe. Yeah. So that's good games, though. They're fun to kick back and play.
They are.
Deals with Gold this week. We have A Plague Tale Innocence for $30 and The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker for $12. I'm pretty sure everyone should know about Plague Tale by now. But what can you tell me about the other one?
So The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker is a FMV mystery. So it's a more like it's told through video as opposed to kind of traditional gameplay mechanics. FMV is a very kind of small niche kind of genre of games where it's told through a story as like you're watching either through security cameras, or you're watching an actor and then you make choices, like little choices will pop up on the screen, like a pick your own adventure, and then you make those choices from there, or you investigate clues or question them different ways to get different results. It's kind of cool little concept, but it looked interesting.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And over on the Epic Store, we've got Horus. What did you find out when you looked at this one?
So Horus is a kicking little platformer about a little robot. There wasn't a huge amount of description on the thing. We were only just kind of slamming these together as I got in the door before we could record. Yeah, just a little 2D platformer. Lots of really good reviews. Lots of 9.5s and 10s from anyone that's reviewed it. So, and that's including all the publications as well. So, for free, worth picking up. Give it a look if you're into platformers.
Worth a download at least.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't play it now, you can always download them and they can just sit there ready to go. Right, well, let's get into the news this week. And this is officially known as the week of delays.
Can we just talk about it next week, though? Can we just push it back to September?
We can delay. We'll delay today.
Yeah.
We'll delay the podcast today and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, exactly. Fine.
Right. Let's start then with, we'll get the biggest fucker out of the room. All right, let's get this done. The delay of Cyberpunk 2077. Right, so CD Projekt Red hosted a conference call for investors this week to address the situation. During the call, the developers management team provided some interesting insight into the state of the game and the plans going forward. And they said Cyberpunk 2077 is the biggest and most ambitious project we've ever undertaken. Not only are we intended the game to be better than The Witcher 3 artistically, but we also want to elevate it to another level business-wise. The developer also mentioned that they know where they stand and which aspects of the game still require work, and as a consequence, they're confident that the game will be released on September 17th without further delays. Right. That is that's a big move.
That's what, 6 months?
Roughly? Yeah, that's huge, man.
That's a big pushback for something that's been so anticipated.
For one of the most anticipated games, this since its announcement. Really, it's just building hype more and more. I wonder why. Do you think it's? I've seen a few people say it could be multiplayer they're trying to implement. It could be issues like they're trying to get it to work, optimize it better for next gen consoles, because we know this is going to be quite a stressful game for the older machines.
Yeah.
Who knows really? Like, I mean, I'm glad it's delayed. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
You only ever get one shot at releasing a game. Then, if you're doing you fuck it, then it's hard to claw back from. So, what do you think?
Well, so when I was reading this and reading the kind of, because they put out like a small thing on Twitter as well, and I was saying this is what's happening. There's a few minutes after this happened because I figured they need to get on top of it. And they said the game is running and it's running perfectly. Like, it's like they could launch it now if they wanted to, but they wanted to take the time. There's a few areas that they're not happy with still, and they want to go through and fix those up and polish them. And because I think they had said something to do with the way the quests work, that it's there's like so many different options in how things can play out. They just want to make sure that experience is as polished as possible. So I think they're trying to work on that. I mean, yeah. I like 6 months again in developer time isn't a lot. Like, it's big for a game to be delayed 6 months, but realistically 6 months is not a lot of time because of all the processes they have to go through, like through game development. So I mean, it could just be touch-ups, it's because I mean they're also saying that they were trying to avoid really crunching the team more than they have to. They said there's still going to be some, people putting in some overtime these next 6 months, but we wanted to minimize that as much as possible. I mean, they could have waited 8 months, but then again, I have a feeling if they delayed it another year, they would have had some riots on their hand because people were already upset on Twitter about it. They're real sad.
Oh, they were. Did you see that thread? Holy
I
Jesus,
did. I went through it. I got my popcorn out, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is this?"
Just horrible, man. Like, what is wrong with some people? It's just.
I mean, a lot of responses are really positive as well, but the negative ones, man, they were negative.
And people need to cast their mind back to the Witcher 3 release. Day one, that had some critical bugs in it, man. Like, my game state got nearly just completely balked trying to get going for the trophy. So I was playing the game a specific way, and a lot of people had save data corrupted, just all types of stuff going wrong with it. And the game just in general had quite a few issues with it at launch. So I think it's great that and these guys are releasing this game is coming out on those same systems. So man, they're going to be pushing that old hardware.
They're gonna have to like pull out some real fucking magic.
I think this is what it is. It's just 6 months of optimization and polish and trying to get it to work properly. And
yeah, again, they could have found things that like you were with if people play a certain way because there are so many options. There could have been issues with save data and stuff. It could have been a very similar issue to what The Witcher had at launch. So, I mean, it's good, man. I'm always happy to hear delays that aren't like super last minute. I mean, this was supposed to be out what, a couple of months?
Yeah, 2 months away.
Yeah, I mean, if they were like delaying it like a week out, I'd be like, what's going on? But
yeah, that's true.
It's a reasonable amount of time to delay and a reasonable amount of time to kind of delay it ahead of launch or their previous launch. So I think it's okay. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of delays and a lot of them are for that September region as well, which is interesting.
It's interesting because they know when the bloody next gen consoles are coming out and we don't.
Yeah.
There's really
I saw a joke about everyone because I think Animal Crossing is in September and everyone's just trying to swamp Animal Crossing.
That's the only way you'd kill that game.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of delays, let's move on to our next one. Final Fantasy VII Remake has been delayed and will now release on April 10th, 2020. So the official Twitter account for the remake posted the news with a message from Final Fantasy VII producer Yoshiri Kitazi. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. We are making this tough decision in order to give ourselves a few extra weeks to apply final polish to the game and to deliver you the best possible experience. Final Fantasy VII Remake is one of the most anticipated games of the year, and the excitement around the release has been growing rapidly since it was first announced. I, on behalf of the whole team, want to apologize to everyone, as I know this means waiting for the game just a bit longer. Now, this one hurt. This is creeping up to be one of my most anticipated this year. The more I see of it.
But isn't this only the first part too? Like, is it supposed to be releasing it in several kind of chunks?
There's so many different things going around. Like, yeah, it is. It's just the first disc of the old games.
Yeah.
But apparently they've just wanked this one right up. I mean, there's got to be a lot more places to explore. It's going to be a lot more in depth. Obviously, there's a lot more combat. I've already seen a few different trailers and screenshots of they're tweaking the story a little bit, which they're going to be very careful about because they're dealing with a very
big universe.
It's a renowned IP. Like, this has Final Fantasy VII is, it was the first one on the PlayStation 1, and it holds like a really special place for a lot of people just because of how they enjoyed it at that time. It's a piece of their childhood. So in Square, if they want to fuck with it too much, tweak it, they got to be very careful about what they do.
Yeah, true.
In saying that, I've already seen that they're changing a few things. They're bringing summons in. Normally you couldn't get a summon, until you left the first disc you got out. That was when you first introduced into that mechanic. They're bringing stuff like that in.
So what is a summon? Sorry, I'm not a Final Fantasy player at all. So fill me in.
As I say, a summon is, think of it as your ultimate spell. kind of.
Okay, yeah,
It's
right.
just a ginormous attack that you can do. You summon in another entity to come in and help you, or whatever it is, for one hit or multiple hits if it's like a decent one.
Yeah,
nice of the round. Yeah. Well, this one's not a major. It's not a huge one. It's a little.
When was
it's
its
a little bump out of the way.
When was its original release?
Original release was March 16th, I think.
So it's basically a month.
Yeah. So the other interesting thing to this is April 10th in Australia is Good Friday.
Yeah.
You can't buy this game physically on Good Friday.
So you have to go digital or nothing.
Digital, or you wait a day and go in on Saturday morning. Then everything would be closed again for trading on Sunday, Monday.
Yeah. That sucks.
Weird, yeah. Dude, if that was me, I would be fuming because I'm really looking forward to this game. And if I had a physical collector's edition, anything whatnot lined up, and you're back a day again.
Is that only affecting Australia though?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I doubt us down here would have come into the equation with, oh, it's just April 10th. I don't think they would have thought too much about it.
No,
which sucks for those people that are getting physical editions, but I mean,
well, I'm hoping we get a demo. There's been enough leaks of this by the opening section demo.
Yeah,
that
YouTube
first section
now
as well.
Yeah.
So it's got a full playthrough up.
Oh, really?
I don't know what's going. Yeah, and it's still up. Like they haven't taken it down.
Oh, weird.
So hopefully that comes out on the PSN or whatnot. They just give us a little demo to get us tied over to it. But anyway, we'll move on to our next delay. It's going to take the Avengers a little longer than expected to assemble. Did you like that one?
I did. I appreciate that.
Get out of here.
Get out.
I did the run sheet this week, ladies and gents.
The puns are there.
The puns are there. All right, Crystal Dynamics has announced on Tuesday morning that it is delaying its Marvel Avengers video game. The game was originally set to come out on May 15th, but will now not be released until September 4th. In the studio's statement on the delay, it explains that the release date will give the development team more time to bring together its own vision of the game. They said, "We are committed to delivering an original story-driven campaign, engaging co-op and compelling content for years to come." The statement from Crystal Dynamics also says, "To that end, we'll spend the additional development time focusing on fine-tuning and polishing the game to the high standards that our fans expect and deserve." End quote.
I don't like the way this is worded.
No.
This, like, I mean, we're covering 3 different delays here. Cyberpunk, cool. All right, whatever. They need more time. Final Fantasy, it's a month. I don't know how much they're gonna do, but whatever. Cool. This one though, I don't know. The way it's worded is like, concern. I don't know why. I don't know. It's bugging me. I'm just reading through this, trying to pick what it is, but it sounds like they're having trouble. Like bringing together our vision of the game.
Yeah, like so.
Yeah.
For those who do not know, I've not been following the Avengers game closely. They've received a lot of backlash over this. I mean, not only from the presentation of the game, of what they've shown off, but also the media who have had hands on with the game have not walked away with like very good impressions. It's been pretty lukewarm about the whole thing. They just can't catch a break. We spoke about this last year, and I think we all unanimously agreed that this would get delayed and pushed way further out. And here we are. We were bang on correct about that. The funny thing is, they've probably done it obviously to fix up what they want to do, but they're also going, right, we can get away from March. March is a brutal month with Cyberpunk. This is because this was announced
before everything else.
Earlier and before everything else. So yeah, get away from Final Fantasy 7, get away from Cyberpunk, because they were weeks away in between those games. Like, they were really hard.
Yeah, they would have really struggled in there.
Then you got The Last of Us coming out after that in April. So they're like, beautiful. Like, what a great time. We'll just delay this. Here's an extra 6 months for our dev team, and we get this breathing space. And then next minute, fucking a week later, CD Projekt Red are like knocking on the... Excuse me.
Excuse me. We are releasing together. You have no choice.
We have an announcement to make. Poor bastards, man. Square Enix must be like, can't catch
it. I have a feeling this will be this year's Anthem, man. I'm getting like the same kind of vibes, you know, the very kind of the big promising launch and the very thin slice of gameplay that we've been shown over and over and over again. Yeah. Like, we haven't been shown anything different, and now there's a delay, and they've been relatively quiet on the game too. Like, there hasn't been a lot going around about it, except for, you know, people going, it's a bit with like most of the media getting hands on with it, and this delay is kind of the first thing we've really heard. So I'm not confident. I mean, I'm really hoping they turn it around and they knock it out of the park, because they deserve that. But it's not looking good from where I'm standing.
I think they're having quite a bit of an identity crisis with the game. I think they're really struggling how to mash together an online co-op, you know, live service game, but with the power of the Avengers. Like, how do you nerf the Avengers to not make them so ridiculously strong, but then how do you keep it so it's still enjoyable enough? Like, you know, how do you... Yeah. Gameplay wise, how do you stop Iron Man flying everywhere? Or how do you stop Thor just fucking teleporting somewhere? Just, you know, what? There's so many different things. That
stopping Hulk or ripping up the entire bridge and throwing it at somebody.
Exactly. I mean, that's like, what how do you stop that?
Yeah.
And then because it's you know, it's Marvel as the Avengers. You're gonna, and comics. Sorry, comics is the more important part here. You're gonna have a lot of fans and a lot of people that will scrutinize the hell out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Know, saying that's not right. This is right. Like, just they'll nitpick the hell out of it. Interesting times for Square Enix.
I think if they just drop, I mean, I know they're not going to, but if they drop the live service and the co-op, or even if you had like couch co-op or online co-op where it's 2 to 3 players or whatever, and just did the story, and just had a cool superhero game, like, I mean, look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man did fantastically last year.
Could you imagine just that game just with the Avengers? Like,
exactly, right? You can just
you pick whatever one you want and you play as them.
Yeah, I mean, sure, have like a story mode where there's certain missions where you've got to, you have to use this character for this part because this is what drives the story forward. And you can like switch between them, like there'd be like some cool fucking transition where Iron Man flies past the Hulk and you switch characters or whatever. And you tag out. And you carry that would be really cool, and then in like have an open world kind of thing, I guess, and you can kind of cruise around and do whatever as whatever character. But I mean, live services, I'm gonna ruin everything.
I love the Jim Sterling, the voice over there, perfect. All right, well, let's move on from the Avengers into something else now. So we're not talking delays anymore. We're done with the delays. Hopefully we're not going to see any more for the rest of the year. But a big one now is that Horizon Zero Dawn is potentially coming to PC. The PlayStation 4 exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn will come to personal computers, or PCs, this time, sources tell Kotaku. In an unprecedented move for Sony that signals a future in which the publisher releases games on platform beyond its own console. The news comes from 3 people familiar with Sony's plans, all speaking anonymously because they were not authorized to talk to the press. Sony did not immediately respond to requests for comment. For most publishers, the release of a game on PC would be no big deal. Most video game companies try to put their software on as many platforms as possible. But for Sony, this is a remarkable move. Since the launch of the PlayStation 1 in 1994, just about every game funded and developed by Sony has been exclusive to the PlayStation platform. Sony's PC-focused, massive on MMO games, including EverQuest, are the only exception. Sony's strategy has always been to drive hardware sales with software and vice versa. One would expect them to take the same approach with future games on the PlayStation 5, which will launch this fall. This is, for those interested, this is broken by Jason Schreier for Kotaku, so quite a well-known journalist.
His sources are pretty solid.
It's very, like, he is rarely, if ever, wrong. No, but he does a lot of digging, and he does some really good stuff. What do you think? Yay or nay? You think it's going to happen?
It'll happen. I think it's going to happen with I think it'll happen if it's Horizon Zero Dawn. This is the way it'll happen. The game will come out. It'll be like a timed exclusive. So it'll be exclusive on PS4 for a year or whatever. And then later on, they'll go, okay, it will go to PC now. I think that's okay. It makes sense, man. It makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
it should be.
I mean, it's fantastic that like PlayStation are like. I mean, even if they're just considering this, I mean, looking at the landscape of everything now, you've got Microsoft literally everywhere. Like, you're gonna be out in 2 years, you'll be playing Microsoft games on your phone at high quality. And if they just stay on there, you have to buy a console. It's gonna hurt them. I think they've recognized that. So I think bringing things to like, they don't have to bring them to Xbox. That's totally fine. But putting some stuff on PC, it'll be interesting to see if they go Steam and Epic, or Epic go, hey, here's some money.
Could you imagine?
Speaking of exclusives, let's have that. Because I mean, I think that was the first we heard about this was this coming to the Epic Store was last year. So I mean,
came up.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd be good to see that on come off on like a couple of platforms like, you know, Steam and Epic, and maybe good old games as well.
It makes perfect sense that they do it this way, because they've literally squeezed every bit of money they can out of the game. It's been on the console for what, 2-3 years now. How many software units do you reckon it's sold? Like, it's sold millions.
Oh, yeah, tons, man. Like, it's got to be up there with like one of the better selling. I mean, they've had a lot of good games this year. It's hard to tell, like. But it's up there. It's sold well, but it'd be hard to tell how far ahead it would be.
How many consoles it sold? It's a pretty big question to ask, because I think that's a very important one to PlayStation. They enjoy that selling and moving your units, because you know, they're getting their hardware in your lounge room effectively. Now that they've exhausted all of that, it makes perfect sense to stick that game onto the PC. You open up to a new market, obviously, a smaller one, but it would probably be easier to port straight over to, you know, a PC than it is to downgrade it to work on something. So hypothetically, if it went to the Switch, you know,
could you imagine on the Switch? That'd be fantastic.
It would be. Damn, that'd be a really good game on the Switch, wouldn't it?
It would be. PlayStation, you can have that one.
Really good. Please. But the hook to all of it is, it stirs up all this, you know, people start talking about it. You get the PC crowd are all back in on it. And then you announce the second one. And you go, exclusive to PlayStation 5. You want the second one, you've tasted the first one, it's all stirred, everyone's back into it a kind of bit, like the PC crowd will be into it and they'll be enjoying it. You want the second one, come buy a PlayStation 5. And then they just repeat that process, and they should repeat it with all of their IPs, man. All of their games should be doing this. They should all be
God of War on PC.
Yes, like, it'd just be insane. Like, put them. But I think, like what you said, is the much better way. I don't like Microsoft's way of doing it. I think they're just wasting there's money there that they could be making. You keep your big core games on your core platform, and then when they're done, you rotate them out. So you're still putting your software everywhere. To the casual player, that's like, they'll pick that up anyway down the line.
Yeah.
So I hope this is a thing. I want PlayStation to do this. Start putting their games
Well, I
on the
mean,
PC.
they've already put one on PC. That was oh, why's my brain? Detroit.
They're not a first party.
Oh, it wasn't
They're
a first
third
party.
party.
I know it was an exclusive, but I wasn't sure if it was. But still,
Yeah, no,
they
so
did that anyway, and that went just to Epic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was up to Quantic Dream though. Quantic Dream, they could choose to
Yeah, true.
go over there and do it. So yeah, come on, let's make it happen.
Make
Get
it
them all
happen,
over on
PlayStation.
PC.
Let's go.
I would replay the hell out of Horizon Zero Dawn again on PC at 60 frames, man. That game would look so smooth.
I'm
It
half
would run
tempted.
so
I mean,
nice.
I have a copy for my PlayStation.
Don't play it.
I'm half tempted to wait to see what happens, and if it comes out on PC,
Straight
I'm like,
out.
oh yeah, maybe. It
Trade
depends,
in, man.
because I swear to God, if it comes out anywhere near Cyberpunk, I'm going to die.
There is two other little things that go with this. This was when it was originally announced. It had actually for PC as well on the website.
Oh, okay.
Umbrella.
So this is
It was labeled as PlayStation 4 and PC. It was quickly kind of covered up or moved around. A lot of people forgot it. The same with Death Stranding, like how Death Stranding was literally it said for PlayStation and PC.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's definitely something they're looking at doing, but it also could be the Decima engine, what they're using.
yeah.
From what I've read about it, apparently it's a really good engine. And it's very easy to work with, and it's very easy to move things around and, get it over onto a PC to play easily, or, vice versa. So that could be also a reason why they're moving it over. I'm not too sure, what's the engine Naughty Dog use? They've all got their own custom engines, but, I don't know how easily they move around.
Yeah. It depends
Anyways.
on how easy it is to port and stuff. As long as it's
Yeah.
cost efficient, they'd generally be pretty okay with it, I'd say.
Yeah. Anyway, well, here's hoping that they all start shifting over. That'd be
Agreed.
fantastic. Our last story of the night is to the one and only Todd Howard. The Skyrim man. Toddy. We are going back to Skyrim. Again, can you believe it? Teased during the Video Game Awards, back in December, and officially announced today. The Dark Heart of Skyrim is a year-long story event in Bethesda's The Elder Scrolls Online, giving players the chance to explore iconic locations 1,000 years before the events of Elder Scrolls V. There's been a little Skyrim in the MMO Elder Scrolls games since it launched, but this year's ongoing events open up the frozen northern lands of Tamriel. Along with overland areas, a large portion of the playable area in this expansion is the Black Reach. It is the dark underground world beneath Skyrim. There'll be vampires, werewolves, and other creatures that love the dark lurking about. This new continuing adventure kicks off in February with the Harrowstorm DLC, continuing on June 2nd with the Elder Scrolls Online Greymoor for PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on June 2nd.
Skyrim, the gift that just keeps on fucking giving. God damn. I mean, I know this is different. I know, because it's not just another port of Skyrim, but shit. I mean, at some point with ESO, they had to go back to the old Skyrim.
Yeah.
They had to do it.
Have you ever played? Have you played the ESO before?
No, I haven't played ESO. I've watched a fair bit of it being played, but I haven't played it myself.
Yeah, okay. I played a little bit of it. It's man, I don't know. I didn't stick with it. I found it a bit clunky and whatnot. A bit old, a bit dated. But it is.
I mean, it'll fit Skyrim perfectly then.
One of Bethesda's one thing they kind of get right.
Yeah.
The ESO line. They don't really stuff this up. I mean, they've got a lot of lore to work from, but it's the one part that they generally keep going pretty well. And that's probably got something to do with just because they publish it, they don't develop it.
Yeah.
So who knows? But it looks cool. Those trailers always look pretty sweet. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it does.
No, I haven't seen it yet. No, I heard about it.
So good. When you watch it, like, fuck, I really want to get in there and have a go at that. And then you get to it all. It's just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Get me out. Undo.
Go back. But I mean, that's cool. I mean, I saw a few people on the internet excited about it. I'm like, alright, cool. More Skyrim stuff. One day I might play it. More Skyrim stuff.
You've played the original Skyrim, haven't you?
Nope.
What?
Nope. I've not played Skyrim.
Holy
I played 4 Oblivion for about 3 hours, and I think like I was a lot younger back then, so my attention span was a lot shorter than what it is now. And I kind of got into it, and I was like, I just got annoyed with it because fuck, I've got to do this walking and all this shit, and lots of and lots of like the inventory management. I was like, really, I can't just carry everything. This is shit. And then I gave up on it. I was like, eh. So maybe one day I'll play Skyrim. Maybe one day. But today is not that day.
If you ever do it on PC with all the mods. It does make it quite fun.
Yeah.
I have played Skyrim on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, PC. Yeah, that's it.
I think if I got it, I'd probably grab it on Switch, I think.
I've got it on the Switch. It goes alright.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't notice the difference between the other versions, so it'd be fine for you. Other than that, it runs really well on the Switch.
Yeah. I think like that's probably the way I go. Cause I like games like that to be. I like the idea of them being portable.
Very much so.
Yeah. But I mean, I can see the appeal of playing it on PC with mods and all its gloriousness.
You can do some cool mods, and you can upgrade the graphics. You can do all types of cool with it.
Yeah.
Make it a bit more mod. Yeah. Well, I think that is going to be us for the evening. What do you reckon? You got anything else you want to add in?
No, that's good. I'm good. I've got to get this done and pack down my PCs. Sad times.
Where can people find you, mate?
You can find me on Twitter and Mixer at deft_puppies. I'm a little bit vacant the next couple of weeks, but I'll still be around, mostly on Twitter. But yeah, what about you, Gray?
And can always find you in the Discord though, can't you?
You can. I'm generally somewhere in there talking shit.
Just another reason why you should join the Discord.
Exactly.
Chat. You can find me over on YouTube at Grey as a Gamer, and also on Twitter at Grey as a Gamer, and also very much in our Discord. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, it's Twitter at LeftPod. You can also find us at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time every Sunday night on Mixer at mixer.com/def_puppies with a Z. And that's about all. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We should be all good for back next week. And then we're going to start looking at getting on some guests. So
yeah, it's going to be exciting.
That should be it's going to be very exciting coming up. So if you know anyone that you want to see on the show, or if you want to come on the show yourself, feel free to get in touch with us over on the Twitter or Discord. And with that, we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you next time. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.